RFID threat as scientists develop edible tag for pills. RFID tags on packs could be a thing of the past after American scientists revealed an edible tag that can be used to track and trace and authenticate individual pills. They're talking about putting RFIDs in the medications they give you. Talk about Brave New World wrapped in a 1984 Orwellian package. Oh my God. All right, let's go to callers. Betty, you're on the air. Yes,
Hi,
Betty.
Jason.
How are you?
I'm calling from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just honored to be able to speak with you. And on the subject of, torture and war criminals,
Mm-hmm.
I would like everyone to know who's listening to this program that tomorrow afternoon, George W. Bush and Bill Clinton are appearing at the Toronto Convention Center.
Oh.
Compliments of Stephen Harper.
Oh, isn't that lovely? And they're going to be together, and all three of them hand in hand?
Nobody is aware of this. When I've told my family, when I've told anyone, they said this is absolutely impossible. And
well, they don't understand. What do they think? They think that Bill Clinton and George Bush aren't the best of buddies behind the scenes? I remember maybe back in 2003 when I was really, waiting for the 9/11 Commission to start their hearings and really figuring out for myself there was no right or left. There was just these two parties acting to oppose each other. And I saw the dedication of the Bill Clinton Library in D.C. and who's in the front row? Why, it's the entire Bush family. And it's just giggles and smiles and laughter and everybody's happy and everybody's best friends. I mean, it's all a show. They don't really oppose each other on anything. And you can watch speeches of Bill Clinton talking about the quote-unquote New World Order by name and, praising it. And saying, oh, George, H.W. Bush is a great man. I mean, these things, it's unbelievable to me that people buy into the fact that there's some kind of difference between the two. Continue.
Well, they're there tomorrow, and they're rubbing shoulders, and we're calling for the arrest of war criminals on our soil.
And as well you should. I mean, you know what? I'd love to get some tape in there. Info Warriors out there, if you're in Toronto and you can go to this thing, please bring a camera. Please ask some tough questions. I don't know if you have to do it, confrontation style. We are change style. But, confront these guys on something. Ask, why is it that you guys are up here on tour talking together when you were supposedly had so many different ideas and so many different policies and you were so ardent against one another? No, they're part of the same ball club. I thank you for the call, Betty. Let's go to Benjamin in Texas. Benjamin, you're on the line. Yes, Benjamin.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Hey, we're just watching some Flapjack on the Cartoon Network. Really, realistically, where do we start? We can talk about these evil, the evil appointment of this lady to Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. I mean, talk about it, as Alex so eloquently put one time, the cult of devil worshipping pedophiles that run like CPS rings. I mean, actually, I remember. I wanted to get your take on the Kevin Trudeau interview with Alex the other day.
Sure. Do I agree with everything that Kevin Trudeau has to say? But before I get into Kevin Trudeau, let me just say, where do we start? Well, I had a caller in the first hour calling me up from a story maybe a month ago. Out in Albany, they were trying to make it so you had to register all your ammunition. Where did they start? They started going to city council meetings. They went before the board. They had 80 protesters outside saying you can't put this into law. So that's a good place to start. Start locally. Same thing in Schenectady. When they started saying, oh, we might declare martial law, Schenectady residents got up in arms. They started calling their city council members. They started calling the mayor's office. They said no. We have to say no at some point. I think that, we should have some recourse against the Supreme Court with their 5-4 decision that you no longer have a lawyer. Now, as far as Kevin Trudeau goes, look, a lot of the things that he promotes are real. The law of attraction, for instance, I'm a strong believer in the law of attraction. Maybe not in the hokey, new age way it's presented in the book The Secret or the movie The Secret, but some of that stuff is definitely true. I wouldn't be here without the will to do what I do and believing that it was actually possible and setting goals for myself and working towards that. So Trudeau is a big, purveyor of that. Some of his debt cures in his latest book are real. I've read some of the information. They're absolutely real. Some of his natural cures are the same things that you'll see on our sponsors' websites. So I think that he is a very ingenuitive guy. Whether or not he's 100% honest, I don't know if anybody's 100% honest. Is there room for criticism? There's room for criticism of everybody, but he is able to reach a massive audience, and for some reason, the FTC went after him with a $37 million fine. He reaches literally millions and millions of people. You got to ask yourself, why are they targeting this guy if he's not a threat to their establishment?
million. That's a lot of dough. I mean, I don't care who you are.
No, 37 mil is a lot of cheese, my friend. Hey, if they ever enact Executive Order 13375, where you're supposed to take mass quarantines or go to prison, and they can prison for 1 year or up to a $250,000 fine, I can't afford the 250 G's. I don't know about you. I ain't got it rolling around.
No, but I definitely think that the only way they take a person like me is with bullets or something like that. You know, I'm not going to subscribe to this like open-handed, open tyranny. That these evil globalists really want to push. It's really disgusting. La Raza, what La Raza stands for is just absurd.
Well, you know what La Raza stands for at the upper echelons, when you're a council member, a board member like she is, yes, it is more than absurd. But at the lower levels, people don't understand what it is. It's just like, people who think that, I'm trying to think that Al Gore and, the carbon credit system are going to save the world, and people are getting behind the green movement and they're joining Greenpeace, and they think they're going to make a difference if they join PETA for animals. They don't understand it's all corrupt at the top. They don't understand what the real message is. And I think a lot of that is, I don't want to just say every member of La Raza is automatically a racist. I would say every member of La Raza that doesn't realize that there's race implications and race bias is ignorant. And there are some at the top that are openly racist. I mean, old habits are hard to break, and some people just cannot get it in their head hard enough that, again, you should base your judgments on people by the content of their character, the fruits of their actions, what they stand for, not, the color or creed or religion of a person. It's absolutely ludicrous. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Nora in Florida. Nora, you're online.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that the last caller brought up the issue of La Raza, because I think you guys are confused on which La Raza you're looking at.
All right, well, listen, let's talk about La Raza on the other side, and I'm going to get your take on Sonia Sotomayor, soon to be the next Supreme Court Justice. It's the Alex Jones Show, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com.